Chichen Itza is a 4-square-mile ruined ancient Maya metropolis in Mexico's south-central Yucatán state. It is estimated to have been a religious, military, political, and commercial center with a population of 35,000 people at its height. The site first attracted residents in about 550 AD, most likely due to the region's easy access to water via caves and sinkholes and limestone formations known as cenotes. Chichen Itza lies around 90 miles northeast of Uxmal and 75 miles southeast of the modern city of Mérida. The cenotes are the only source of water in the parched region surrounding the monument. 2 large cenotes on the site made it a prime location to build a city and gave it its name. Chi, meaning mouths, Chen, meaning wells, and Itza, which is the name of the Maya tribe that lived there. In 1988, UNESCO declared Chichen Itza as a World Heritage Site. Chichen Itza was constructed in the 6th century AD by Maya peoples of the Yucatán Peninsula who had occupied the region from the pre-classic or formative period, which lasted from 1500 BC to 300 AD. The main early buildings are in the Puuc architectural style, which differs from the styles of Mexico's southern lowlands in several ways. There is evidence that in the 10th century, with the collapse of the Maya towns of the southern lowlands, Chichen was invaded by foreigners, most likely Maya speakers who had been heavily influenced by, and perhaps directed by, the Toltec of central Mexico. These invaders could have been the Itza, after whom the location was named. However, some historians believe the Itza arrived 200 to 300 years later. The invaders were responsible for the construction of a 79-foot-tall pyramid that rises over the main plaza called El Castillo, which means the castle in Spanish. El Castillo has 4 sides, each with 91 stairs facing a cardinal direction, including the top step. These add up to 365 steps, which represents the number of days in the solar year. Each side represented a different season and was used to determine the optimal times to plant seeds and harvest crops. In fact, the massive pyramid served as a giant calendar. The Mayans were ardent astronomers and believers. This is clear from how and why they created their monuments. El Carasol, a round-shaped observatory in Chichen Itza, was specifically built to measure the positions of planets and the sun. Strange sounds can be heard at the lost city of Chichen Itza. If you clap your hands at the bottom of El Castillo stairs, you will hear an echo unlike any other. This echo is similar to the warble of the Mexican quetzal, a holy bird in Mayan tradition. Shadows cast by the setting sun appeared to be a snake slithering down the stairwells during the spring and autumn equinoxes. A carving of a plumed serpent at the top of the pyramid represents Quetzalcoatl, also known as Kukulkan by the Maya, and is one of the principal deities of the ancient Mesoamerican pantheon. Excavations within the 9 platform pyramids discovered an earlier labyrinth that contained a crimson jaguar throne encrusted with jade. The cult of the cenote was a mythological custom at Chichen that involved human sacrifice to the rain god Chaac, in which victims were thrown into the city's main cenote, located near the northernmost section of the ruin, along with gold and jade decorations and other riches. Herbert Thompson, an American who had purchased the entire site, began dredging the cenote in 1904, and his finding of bones and sacrificial objects validated the belief. The platform of skulls, also known as a skull rack, is the most foreboding. Hundreds of victims and soldiers' heads were carved into the platform walls to control people and intimidate opponents. Chichen appears to have been superseded by the emergence of Mayapan between 1200 and 1540. Chichen Itza briefly joined Uxmal and Mayapan in a political confederacy known as the League of Mayapan. In around the year 1450, the League of Mayapan's political authority was dissolved. The Maya were living in many tiny towns when the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, but the great cities, notably Chichen, had mostly been abandoned. Chichen Itza, long abandoned in the wilderness, remains sacred to the Maya. Excavation began in the 19th century, and the site quickly became one of Mexico's most important archaeological zones. The ruins draw visitors from all over the world because of its enigmatic, violent, mystical, and spiritual atmosphere. A visit to the Yucatán Peninsula in Mexico would be incomplete without witnessing the elaborate grandeur, wonder, and superstition that surrounds Chichen. Many tourists visit nearby Cancun and Riviera Maya, only to relax and recreate in posh resorts. Take a walk on the wild side and visit Chichen. Many resorts offer all-inclusive day trips to the site, and it is a wonder you will never forget. We hope you enjoyed this journey. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see all of our videos of all the amazing places to see in the world. Also, please be sure to leave a comment below to share your tips and tricks for how to best see and navigate this amazing place on Earth.